Hey everyone, and thank you for tuning in to my Sound Paint podcast. Sound Paint was a concept I created about 10 years ago with the goal to be rooted in a safe community for musicians seeking music education from an angle of just wanting to explore and enjoy music and sound and grow together in their skill and ability. I also feel very strongly about the connection between art and music. It is my love and passion to read different physics studies and explore the correlation between sound waves and light waves. Light waves, which, when broken down, are basically the colors that we see. I love the idea of approaching writing music with color in mind. That is a huge source of my inspiration when I play. With that in mind, I think you get the reason why I call this project Sound Paint. As we go along, I'll be describing what I'm doing as much as possible for everyone listening in without the video. If you are interested in seeing what I'm doing, as well as listening, you can catch me on YouTube. The link for this episode will be listed below. Or if you yourself are interested in learning music and want to check out any of my music courses online, you can find my website at www.soundpaintacademy.com. I'm always adding new courses, and I'm always open to hearing new ideas for courses that you might like to try out. Well, fancy meeting you here, and happy Saturday of all days. Anyways, on with the show. I feel like I want to return back to something we were playing with a little while ago. I feel like we have some unfinished business.
You and I have unfinished business.
With modular synthesizers. So we're going to dive right in, have some fun, play with some modular synthesis. Because I want to, okay? It's just, I just like it. Synthy 5. There you are. We made some pretty cool stuff. Okay. Arming the track now. There we go. You remember this sound. And I don't mean the crackling. I mean that really cool sequencer sound. So, Synthy 5. Let's play around. A while back, we talked about how this really cool method of synthesizer works. You use something called patch cables, and you can be a mad scientist and connect one sound to a different sound and make it do crazy things. Okay, so we're going to play around a little bit more with that. All right, so that's fun. Now, we are going to play around with the ring modulator. What's the ring modulator, you might ask? I actually need to go over to my handy dandy bookcase and get a book. And I'm going to read to you what the definition is. So this is a great book. I highly recommend this book if you're heavy into building sounds from scratch. This is Welsh's Synthesizer Cookbook by Fred Welsh. All right, so Freddie, take it away. If the oscillators are set to inharmonic intervals, the ring modulator will produce a rich inharmonic sound that is harsh and metallic and is quite similar to inharmonic sounds produced with FM or frequency modulation. Ring modulation was used quite a bit in old sci-fi flicks and early avant-garde electronic music. As a point of interest, the Dalek voices on Doctor Who were originally created with a ring modulator by multiplying a 30 Hz sine wave with mid-range boosted speech input.
Would you care for some tea?
That would be very nice, thank you.
I'm not going to explain that because just follow me. Just follow. I'm going to show you. So, let's see. I don't think Synthy 5. Ooh. Okay, so sine wave. Let's look over here at oscillator 1. I am going to change the sine wave shape. And I'm going to turn what I believe is the sine wave up. And the sawtooth is completely turned down. So they're kind of like opposites, if you want to think of it like that. All right, now I'm going to click and drag this over here. Here's my ring modulator level, and I'm going to turn this up. Right. Okay, so we did this before. Now, if you remember, or if you've watched that episode, when we turn the ring modulator up, you hear those subdivisions and you hear those little in between, and it starts sounding kind of like a drum, which I actually don't want. So I'm going to leave the ring modulator at 5. Now, I think in order to get a Dalek voice, which is not necessarily what I'm going for, I think I would actually have to run my voice through this. So let me see. I'm going to take, so we have output 1. I'm going to reroute. Oh yeah, there we go. So I'm routing it. I'm routing output 1, channel 1, through the ring modulator. Now, where do I want that to go? I think I want it to go out through the sine wave of oscillator 1. And we get noise. It's literally what we got. Let me see. I'm going to go through ring modulator B on that one. Ah! I think I did it. Okay, so it's not exactly saying exterminate. If you're familiar with Doctor Who, that's all the Daleks say. They're like these weird, they look like garbage can robots, but they're like supposedly like the most feared in the galaxy.
Exterminate!
I think it's just funny and entertaining, quite honestly. Oh, we have some sequencer stuff going on. Do I want to shut that off? Let's try shutting that off. Ooh, we get like a high-pitched thing going on now. So I'm hitting a whole bunch of different notes, but they all kind of sound the same. So I'm going to undo that. Come back. I don't know if I necessarily like that high-pitched frequency either. I'm going to turn up the low pass and see if we can get some higher stuff. I like that. I mean, I know I normally go for the lower stuff, but I felt like it was sitting a little too low. No, still too low. Go back up. I was playing around with it. I overestimate. Ah! Okay. Not Dalek sound. Not that I was even going for that, but I like this. So it's really just a filter, and you can hear the sequencer still going on underneath it, and it sounds ineffective. It's just kind of like a blanket over that sequenced arpeggiation. And the filter, the oscillator filter, it's not changing pitch. Like I'm hitting a bunch of notes. You can hear the sequencer changing notes, but the filter remains the same sound. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I'm doing. I'm going to just play C. So here's just C. Now I'm going to go up to G. The notes that you hear going like underneath, they're going to change, but the filter stays the same. Back to C. All right. I don't even know if I like that, but there we go. Turning you back. It was too much. We went too far. Man, this filter is just crazy. I'm going to turn the whole thing down because this filter is just out of control. I like it. I like it. I want to see if I connect the ring modulator with the envelope. Let's see what that does. It kind of created this sound that I would equate to when you unplug an electric guitar from an amp, but the cable is still hot. And it's just, you hear just the buzzing through the amp. That's kind of like what we got there. Let's try the decay. So decay is like how long it takes for the sound to finish. I'm going to connect the decay with the ring modulator. Kind of indifferent to that one. All right, so envelope shaper. I'm going to turn the attack on just a little bit. Ooh, do we want it to pan a little? That means it's going to kind of go back and forth. Okay, now this is cool because I don't have to explain to you what I'm doing down here. You're just gonna see what I'm doing on this handy dandy synthy blue keyboard. It's like a cool blue. It's actually like my favorite blue. So, I apologize if you're only listening in. If you check me out on YouTube, you can see all of this magic, and it's glorious. But the whole keyboard is blue, and you can tell what notes I'm hitting because they will light up white. So, I'm just gonna kind of end our session by making stuff up with this modulator. Okay. So I apologize. The plugin went a little bit hectic for a second. So I had to go back and try to reset everything the way that I had it. It's not going to sound quite the same or identical because I was just making it up, honestly. So going to end this out by just playing, making stuff up. You'll be able to see if you're watching. You'll be able to see what I'm playing by following the white keys. So we kind of traveled around in space. Hey, last week's was space themed, and I mean, it's not a Doctor Who episode. I don't want to say that necessarily, but he travels in space. Maybe he knew what a black hole sounded like way before we did. Anyways, that's just silly. Okay, so I hope you had fun with that. I hope you know what a Dalek sounds like. If you don't, you should go listen to what it sounds like, because I mean, what I wrote, I think, not what I wrote, but like the sound I created, I think is a little reminiscent. Like you can hear that, like Fred Welsh said, metallic kind of sound. And I think that we achieved that today. So I'm proud of that. All right. So that is Synthy 5. I plugged it in through Arturia. No. I plugged it in through Ableton. I'm on my Arturia Keylab 88. And have a fantastic weekend. Bye.